I read this book 5 years ago and it changed my life, folks. In this crazy world, the best piece of advice I can give to you all is to check out Never Split the Difference by Chris Voss. In this video, I'll go over why. Tune in. My name's Harley. This is my channel. I've been doing a lot of these walk and talk videos for a while. Gonna start following some advice and give you guys some more value in the videos. So staying on topic, the book that I'm talking about changed my life. It's called Never Split the Difference by Chris Voss. And if you don't know me, I have a 12-year-old dog and I walk and I talk and I feel like I'm in flow. So let's go for a walk and talk about Never Split the Difference by Chris Voss. Why did I pick up a negotiation book, and why do I think it is almost as important as any spiritual book that you'd pick up right now, or self-help you'd pick up right now? Because I was a realtor at the time I read it, and I was really having a lot of deals. And to be honest with you, I would study my contract, go to my contracts class, and when you have a boilerplate contract, I knew it. I mean, I really knew it back and forth. And I knew when they changed something, I knew that they changed something, right? So what else do I need to learn to be good at my craft? And I think that's the secret of success, no matter whether you're anything, a mother, a cabinet maker. You can really get passionate and get better and good at your craft, right? So I thought, I haven't read a negotiation book. I spent a lot of years on financial literacy and how money works, and that's what took me into real estate. But I haven't really read any books on negotiation. And that's why I would say start with Chris's, because perennially, I think we all can agree it's one of the best, right? When I read the book, it really is talking about how to deal with humans. Typically, negotiation would be looked at on a piece of paper and that kind of thing, and they have certain goals, right? And what Never Split the Difference tells you, it's called tactical empathy. Hold on one second. We don't need to videotape that part. Chris also has a movie that you can get on Amazon that's called Tactical Empathy. So pull apart those two terms. Where do they use tactics? When there's high pressure, I would point out the SWAT tactical team, right? So when there's high pressure, you need tactical negotiations, right? And what is the other part of it? Empathy. Well, empathy is not sympathy. Empathy is understanding where somebody else is coming from. There's a lot more to it. And I don't read so well. I bought those books so I can give them out. I don't read so well. I'm very dyslexic, but I have read a lot of books over and over again through Audible. So I'll put the Audible link in the book. And if you're not into books and you say, Harley, I'm never going to read a book, it's just not my thing, I don't want to do that. Even if you are into books, what I also would suggest is to just, if you listen to podcasts, Chris Voss has been interviewed so many times in all different kinds of podcasts. Listen to 4 Chris Voss podcasts where he's being interviewed. Tell me in the comments if it doesn't change your life too. Tip number 1, what I learned, is it works on everybody, okay? And because we all have different types of people that we've negotiated or dealt with in our lives, what it did, number 1 for me, is it helped me understand other relationships. It helped me understand my family. It helped me understand the conflict that I had when I was a teenager, those kind of things. It helped me understand a lot of things. I don't want to make this too personal. That's my first tip. Number 2, he says in there, you can get the best outcome if you don't take yourself hostage with your emotions first. I think what I just said, and that you can get the best outcome if you don't take yourself hostage with your emotions, hit me right on the head personally, because my dad would say I always come in hot. We'll just put it like that. And I could see what he was saying, because I kind of always looked at my emotions like a justice thing. Like, just because I'm upset and kind of raising my voice and doing things to upset people because I'm right, or because my cause is correct, or there's been an injustice, is my trigger. But at the core, now what I see so often is the reason that we're not getting the best outcome is when people can't control their emotions. It's not about you can control them, but I think you got to acknowledge them, and that's almost better. Acknowledging them helps you control them. Think about a situation where every time you got to deal with this situation, and for me it could have been, and it was, the state. The state of Michigan had a big injustice. They took away my driver's license, and I have to say, I had multiple different lawyers and multiple different advice, and it was, you're in a bureaucratic loophole. You didn't do anything wrong. There's nothing you could have done, but you're kind of screwed. So for me, anytime I had to deal with that situation, the people were one thing. Like, I don't want to get in the bureaucracy of Michigan and why they can't be nice, where Arizona and Colorado and Indiana and every other state I've dealt with are nice on the phone and helpful. But set that aside, what took me a long time to be able to even talk to somebody like I'm talking to you about this, talk to the lawyers about it to get help, I just got so upset. It was, and the more information I got, it got worse. It didn't get better. It's, you didn't do anything wrong, and you're going to have to go through all of this again and then some. It was more restrictive than I had to do the first time around. I had a couple DUIs when I was in my early 20s. So anytime I try to deal and get a new license, I know, hey, I'm going to have to blah, blah, blah. Well, Michigan made that impossible, literally, in a way that, I had an unconstitutional argument, according to the lawyers. But then they said, it's quicker to just deal with it. Harley, we could go down that road, and your money can go towards one legal fee or one legal fee. And you probably could get it thrown out, right? But the quicker way to do it was totally just deal with the system. And once I made that decision to not let my emotions take me hostage, I was able to make it through that situation. And it did get worse, and it cost me more money. And, I'm stuck on the couch having to watch alcohol classes or blah, blah, blah. And you know what? I don't have a problem, but it really helped me explain why I did what I did when I was younger. And overall, I'm a better human for it, okay? Was it right? Was it just? No. But it's behind me, is what I'll tell you. So I had definitely a problem taking myself hostage with my emotions. And just understanding people, they're not like me. Point 3, I could go on and on about Chris's book, but I'm going to kind of keep it to a top of my 5, right? Point 3 is he starts to, in there, show you some numbers of outcomes that they get when you're talking a hostage situation where there's guns and people's liberties taken, the real hostage situations, right? So, morning. In the book, he says, well, what is our numbers when we're trying to get the best outcome, not be perfect? That's really key, right? Like, you're a human being. You can't be perfect, okay? But I thought 50-50 would be a good way to live. Well, how is it when they're talking to crazy terrorists that they get the best outcome 90% of the time? And they got plenty of studies to show it, right? So, what is the overall point? A, we're not perfect. And B, I don't care. There's no excuses. They talk to crazy terrorists and they get 90% the best outcome. So when you say you can't talk to people, blah, 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 the numbers are 1 in 10 that you probably can't talk to. It might be difficult, right? But according to the people that are the experts, and we're not talking about politics, we're talking about hostage taking folks, how is it that they could talk to those crazy folks, but you can't talk to your family? You can't talk to your uncle or whatever, right? So it gives me no excuses. But it also makes me curious. One of the coolest things I have learned from the book is the brain science and how when you're in a positive state of mind, you're actually smarter. He says you're 30% smarter in a positive state of mind than a negative state of mind. So you decide what's a positive and what's a negative. I mean, that's pretty clear, right? But if you, instead of being angry, go to curious, right? Curious, why am I angry? What emotions can I pull? Here's the Harley tidbit of the day. Is it anger or is it frustration or is it hunger? I've been getting really frustrated that can easily go into anger, I've been noticing lately. But anyway, right? So if I stay curious, then I'm not getting dumber. Okay? So where does that come in your life right now? Where does that come in all of our lives right now? When we're angry and our talking points and we're yelling and we're arguing instead of having a conversation and being curious why somebody else feels differently, we're all dumber, present company included. Jeez, right? I get engaged and I have to just set it down because I'm trying to set out things that'll make the world a better place and not argue. We'll go into that next time, why arguing's never been a good idea and it's just unnecessary, right? So here's the biggest point I'm gonna leave with y'all. The 5th reason why you need to go pick up the book and go start listening to Chris Voss is what he said about lies, okay? And whether it's good to lie to those crazy, hey man, they're gonna kill somebody, whether it's good to lie in that situation, and it's never good. You will not find, you'll see hundreds and hundreds probably of Chris Voss podcasts, okay? You'll not find one where he condones and says it's a good thing to lie. A, because it's not necessary, you can keep your mouth shut. Wow, holy crap, right? But what he says is a lie is like a hand grenade, and what you're doing is you're pulling the pin in the hand grenade and you're giving it to whoever you lied to. And you don't know when it's gonna go off. May never go off, right? But you don't know. You don't have any control over that. A. And B, there's no reason to lie. There's no reason to lie. We can lay that out in the next video, right? So it's not about my political opinion. We just talked about politics in this video, right? But you know what I'm saying now, right? Because I think we can all agree on is nobody wants to be lied to, A. But what if I told you that you don't need to when you feel like you need to? And tactically, in any situation, that's better. Business, particularly business. Go look at what Warren Buffett says about lying, whether he's going to have a partner that lies to him. Okay? So that's my pet peeve, folks. And that's where we can move forward together and understand, hey, I'm not going to let folks lie. And I'm going to try and use my words. This is the late night DJ voice that Chris Voss had. There is tools. There is ways to both help myself feel better, help myself not act a fool, help myself even ask questions differently. And that's the root of it that I think the special sauce was for me. That's why I changed my name of my channel to Harley Questions Everything. Because if you can stop back and become curious, you're immediately not in pain as much. You're immediately not triggered. You're immediately not whatever that negative emotion is a little bit. And that's where I'm going to leave it with you guys on a awesome Monday morning. Go, please, if you've listened this far, go check out some Chris Voss podcasts. I'll tell you this, when I'm having a bad day, because Chris uses these techniques when he answers questions. He always says, that's a great question. He gives you 5 seconds to think about what the answer is. All these kind of tips, right? But you know what he does? He uses them, and I feel better. And so we're getting the best outcome. I feel better. That's my special sauce for you guys today. If you are feeling the weight of the world, we just had a full moon, and you want to get away from politics and the news, go check out Never Split the Difference by Chris Voss. And it's Chris Voss, the hostage negotiator, not the Chris Voss, the other guy. I'm going to do a video a day, and I'm going to try and do them better. So thank you all for listening. Harley questions everything. Have a wonderful day. Love you all.